Sports Business Journal that she would be leaving at the end of the year. Important ingredient to what they were trying to do. Her and Steve had a good relationship. I would say big brother sister would be the way I would pinpoint it. They knew each other well, and she listened to Stevie. When Stevie gave her advice, she always listened to him. She spoke to him a lot. I think it was a big brother, little sister deal. But I was surprised. I did not know that was occurring. I was shocked. They took her over. I went to work on Wednesday. They had scrubbed her off all the promos and the mad about stuff. When she's down here, they do that little promo. She was off. It tells you the quickness of television. If you're gone, they get you out in 10 minutes. Yeah, sometimes just leave be with what is going on. Show up and do the job every day. And that's what I would have thought that Molly would have done. A lot can happen between September 20th and at the end of the year. You know that better than anyone. A lot can happen. So why precipitate a decision when you don't have to precipitate a decision? You know?
Well, like you said, once it leaked.
Once it leaked, I think she felt embarrassed, and I think that's probably why she left. I mean,
how has it been for you doing the show without her?
It's different. It's more. It's different. You know, we've had Peter most of the time, Peter Schrager, as the host. And, you know, he plays a little bit more of a role of host and editorializer at the same time. So it's a little bit. And I think Molly, Molly was beloved. A lot of people love Molly. So I don't know if the ratings have indicated that. I don't pay attention to it too much. But if you're asking me, was I shocked? I was shocked. Yes, I was. I certainly was.
All right.
So, yeah, man, that's Mad Dog Russo saying that Stephen A. Smith called him talking about Molly Karen's situation. And, yeah, man, that's the opposite of what Stephen A. Smith has said on his podcast. He was making it seem like he didn't know anything his business to tell, so he's just sitting here kind of was like blindsided how Molly Karen left, and he was just so saddened by the news. But we know that's not the case, man, because at the end of the day, if he wanted Molly Karen to be there, she would have been there, man. But we know there's something definitely going on behind the scenes between them two. And yeah, man, like I've been pointing out on other videos on my YouTube channel, guys. So that's it for today's video, guys. I would love for you guys to get in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts about today's video. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Catch you guys on the next one. We out, guys. Peace.
The Infinity Pro 10x10 backlit displays are designed to make your brand the center of attention. With sleek, low-profile hardware, these displays ensure your vibrant graphics shine edge to edge.
We got a lot to get to. This is going to be a good one, guys.
I hope so.
It's preseason, so we're keeping our fingers crossed here. But we know that when the regular season rolls around, these two rosters are going to be interesting to watch because the Rockets, they have been cleared, it appears at least, for takeoff. Houston won 52 games last season. That's their most since 2018-19 to nab the second seed in the West. But their playoffs, they didn't last very long. They lost to the Warriors in 7 games in the first round. But these young Rockets, they could be even better thanks to a lot of internal improvement. You got rising stars, Alperen Şengün, and then Thompson, who's the favorite to take home the Most Improved Player award. Oh, and, you know, there's also one major external acquisition as well. Kevin Durant, the 8th leading scorer in NBA history, now becomes the #1 option on an offense. With a healthy season, he could pass Michael Jordan all the way up to 5th all-time on that list. And Coach Kevin Durant, he's not just one of the greatest scorers we've ever seen. He's one of the greatest players here. He's an offense within himself. What is the best version of KD for this team?
Well, exactly what they needed. You referenced that loss to Golden State in the first round. And Houston's offense just, was nowhere to be found. They had a hard time scoring. So you add a guy that's going to give you 25 points per game, but more importantly, Malika, he does so in a very efficient manner. 3 seasons in a row, 50-plus from the field, 40-plus from 3. And when you're in a series like they were last year, you need somebody that can go get you a basket. One of the best mid-range shooter the game has ever seen, and isolation player that can get his at any moment. And he has the ability to score in the post from 3, and he gets to the foul line. And Perk knows him better than I do, having played with him in his career. I'm sure you have a lot of things that you can offer about KD and what he's going to help with the Rockets.
Well, the number one thing is he's going to be that closer in the fourth quarter, right? And he's the greatest scorer to ever touch down basketball in my eyes. Now, with that being said, right, he has 0 excuses. This is the best situation, the best team that he has been on since he played in Golden State. He is lacking nothing with this roster. He has the defensive presence. When you look at the perimeter, Tar Eason, Amen Thompson, even Finney Smith, and then you have the bigs, some good bigs that's going to set screens to give him easy baskets. They have a lot of size, athleticism, and Jabari Smith. And most importantly, he has a guy that he respects. That's the leader of that team, the voice in that locker room, and Ime Udoka. So it's not going to be any drama. It's going to be all about basketball and all about winning. With this squad, he has no excuses not to go out there and compete for the championship this year, as long as they're healthy.
Yeah, he fills the perfect role that they needed Kevin Durant, right? Down the stretch of that 7-game series with the Golden State Warriors, they needed a go-to guy to get them a bucket. They didn't have that. Now they have one of the best in NBA history. Kevin Durant fills a very, very clear hole for Houston's roster. A brand new one opened right after, though, because of an unfortunate offseason injury. Fred VanVleet was slated to be the team's starting point guard. He's now going to miss the season with a torn ACL. Now, the Rockets, they have a lot of options to replace him, but none with much experience. You can start defensive ace Amen Thompson, Reed Shepherd, who made 3 starts after being picked 3rd overall last year. Aaron Holiday is another option here. So, Coach, what would you do? How do the Rockets overcome this?
Oh, it's easy. Amen Thompson's the answer. Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Overtime. Amen. Udoka, as Bert talked about. Tremendous head coach, very creative. He's getting the necessary reps in preseason, but it's not just going to be Amen. Alpi Şengün, kind of like what he did in Denver with Nikola Jokic. Şengün, he's going to initiate offense. He's going to be a hub. You mentioned it on the as we came into this. Şengün is leading the preseason in assists per game at over 8. He's a guy that he can play through in the post, on the elbows, and the high post. But Amen Thompson, a young man, can do it all. A lot is going to be asked of him, but watching him play, the respect I have for him, he's more than ready for that challenge.
The world is ready to hand Victor Wembanyama the Defensive Player of the Year award. But Amen Thompson is on his behind like back pockets when it comes to that. We know what he's going to bring defensively. Youngest player in Rockets history to make an all-defensive team. First all-defensive team. Yes. But offensively, that's where he's been standing out in the preseason, in my opinion. Take a look at this clip. There's so much initiating offense, hitting Kevin Durant, catching it off the cut. He's a great player. Attracting so much attention. And look at this Jokic, Luka Doncic type pass to the corner to Jabari Smith. On target. Here you go again. Kick ahead, outlet. Now cutting to the basket once again. 6'7", a super freak athleticism, finishing the paint and 1. He's a pit bull, and he's also shooting 80% from the 3 in the preseason right now, which has been a knock on him from last year.
So Şengün is an option here. Amen Thompson is an option to bring up the ball. We expect Kevin Durant to have the ball and organizing the offense with the ball in his hands a whole lot. That sounds to me like when you say, well, they're going to do it by committee. What does that actually look like? What does that actually mean when you're trying to decide a pecking order down the stretch of really important games, Coach?
Well, there's 2 things that come into play. They're a tremendous rebounding team. They're number 5 in defense last year. So when they get defensive rebounds in the league, they're running. And that means the guy who rebounds, he has the right to get out and push the ball. What Ime Udoka has to do, and I know he's doing this in practice, he has to make sure in his 5-on-0 script sessions, I'm going to have a package of plays when Amen Thomas is going to be our point guard. I'm going to have a package of plays when Alpi Şengün initiates the offense, as well as Kevin Durant, and getting those reps in practice. So now, when you're in the close game, at the end of a game, dead ball, after a free throw, you can call out whatever play you want, and that player can initiate and run the offense and make sure you're executing at a high level when the game is going to be decided.
And another thing I would like to see throughout the course of the season, especially in the 4th quarter when they get down to those clutch minutes and those big-time possessions, is a 2-man game.
Yep.
Alfred Şengün, KD, mastering, working on their chemistry in the 2-man game, because in the postseason, we know Jokic, Murray, you know what I mean, SGA, Chet, like you got to have that 2-man game in order to take their team home.
Guess what has toys all the kids want this year? Cool and exciting, they'll grin ear to ear. Now guess who has awesome fun toys just for you? The answer is simple. It's Walmart. Who knew?
If the Colonel knew we waited this long to bring our tangy, smoky KFC Original Honey Barbecue back, he'd be a little upset.
I'll get Ma.
The Colonel lived so we could chicken. Back because you begged for it. KFC Original Honey Barbecue.
So nobody that missed the cut for last season's All-NBA teams received more votes than Alperen Şengün. And judging by the work he's put in this summer, it feels like he's going to be gunning for revenge this year. In a fantastic Euro basket for Turkey, the 23-year-old, he averaged 25 points, 12 rebounds, nearly 8 assists per 36 minutes, and he hasn't slowed down stateside. He's nearly averaging a 20-point triple-double in 36 minutes. So, Purple, what do you call Şengün again? What's the nickname?
Baby Jokic.
And why do you call him that?
Because he is Baby Jokic. Because, I mean, seriously, he has the complete package, right? First, he's going to start off in the paint. He's going to tomato chest you to death to that jump hook with that feathery touch, the floaters, right? The ball handling, his ability to be able to take guys off the dribble. Look at the footwork, right? There's only two people that could, do two centers that's doing this type of stuff, and it's these guys. Quick spin, get into the paint, finishing right left-handed, the passing ability, his skills.
Yeah.
And Coach, I mean, tell the world I'm right.
You coach Nicole Giselle champion.
I would hate for anybody to put that pressure on Alpi Şengün.
I did ask him what he thinks of the nickname, and he did say he likes it. So I feel like we have the license to roll.
Okay, we're good with that. But you can see the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
I used to joke that the only comparison was that they were big, slow white guys. but I have to give Alpi Şengün a lot of credit because his game is continuing to develop.
Mm-hmm.
And Nikola Jokic is a great role model to try to model your game after. And we talked about the 8.3 assists per game in the preseason. And he's going to be, this year, without no Fred VanVleet, even more of a central figure and help to the game. Numbers are very similar here for the first 4 seasons for Nikola and Alpi. And then just some video examples of showing how Alpi kind of just manipulates the game. They play through him in the post a ton. You talked about the cutting ability of Amen Thompson. Alpi's going to draw 2 defenders here. He's done his job. Great cutting team for easy 2 behind that. Willing passer. We're going to see this a lot. This reminds me of Nikola and Jamal Murray. KD is setting a high pick and roll to Şengün. He pops, and look at that. Kevin Durant's not used to getting threes. This wide open. Great performance here. Great play. Read by Şengün. And just another example. They're running their half-court offense, corner split action. And when you have a big man that can make the reads and pass on time, on target to Jabari Smith, slipping into the paint for another high percentage shot, what a luxury for Ime Udoka to have, and a play that they're going to look to exploit in the post, on the elbows, and all over the court.
That sounds like a lot of work for the offensive hub being the big. Perk, would you do that if you were playing in today's game?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But this is what makes him so special. We were talking about, it was a couple of days ago when we were discussing about the center position and the evolution and what, centers have to be skilled now, right? They're pushing the rock, right? People don't realize how hard it is to be in the action of a dribble handoff and all of a sudden break that action and throw a no-look down for somebody cutting at the basket that wasn't even involved with the play.
Right. The flag has impressed everyone, I think, in these preseason games. He started the last 2 games at point guard over D'Angelo Russell here. But what we just heard, it sounds like Bobby Jason Kidd maybe hasn't completely made up his mind on where Flag fits in the lineup. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, I would probably give it an incomplete right now, just going back from Summer League to right now. I think the beauty of where Dallas is, as we've talked about their depth, it gives Jason Kidd so many different lineups to experiment. And I think the best thing for Dallas, don't be afraid to fail experimenting with lineups. That means whether it be starting D'Angelo Russell or starting PJ Washington. I just go back to that Oklahoma City team that won the championship. Last year, Malika, they started 30 different starting lineups. And did you know the one they used the most didn't even start during the playoffs here? Certainly the Chet Holmgren injury played a role here, but yeah. I do like what I've seen with Cooper with the ball in his hand. I do agree with Jason as far as from a spacing standpoint, but that's figuring out who you are as a team.
Look, they're going to be one of the better, or if not the best defensive team in the league, in my opinion. Now, the problem on the other hand is they got to make shots, right? Anthony Davis, he wants to play the 4 position. He's going to have to knock down and shoot threes at a high rate. Cooper, obviously, you highlighted, that's removed from for improvement there as well. But Klay Thompson, P.J. Washington, they're going to have to knock down shots at a consistent rate. Because even last night we saw in the game with the Lakers, the reason that they had trouble scoring is because J.J. went 2-3 zone. He's like, y'all not going to live in the paint. Y'all got to make outside shots. So again, yes, they're going to defend at a high level. They're going to get transition baskets. The concern comes in is when they get in the half-court set, can they make wide-open shots?
Right. When Anthony Davis is playing the 4, when he's playing the 5, you have a little bit more of that stretching the floor. But while he's playing the 4 here, Bobby, which we know is his preferred position, how do they maximize this lineup? What is this lineup at its best, knowing that we're not going to get Kyrie Irving at least for the early part of the season, if not at all?
Well, you know how you maximize on the defensive end. I mean, did you see how big this team is last night when you basically had Cooper at point guard, who was 6'8", 6'9", and then PJ and 2 7-footers with AD and Derek Lively. I think that will allow them to get out and run a little bit more, open up the offense here based on what they do on defense.
And defense is the vision, right? That's what Nico Harrison was preaching when he made the trade for Luka Doncic and brought in Anthony Davis. But at the end of the day, you're asking, although Cooper Flag has been tremendous, he's been sensational in the preseason, you're asking an 18-year-old kid, the youngest player in the NBA, to come in, to play out of his normal position, to try organizing the offense and having the ball in your hands a whole lot more for a team that going to the finals isn't enough. You have to win it all, and that is a huge task to put on an 18-year-old shoulders. What were you doing when you were 18?
When I was 18, I played World Championship with Steph Curry. It was a very long time ago. People really don't blame, when you have 18 years, you try to make mistakes. You will make mistakes. You always make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's part of the life. When you work, it's you make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes, and he's super young. I think that they try to put him on a different position to try him what he can do, and he can do a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that he can do a lot for a Dallas Mavericks organization that has a ton of expectations this season. It's just a Herculean task. So that's Dallas' side of this preseason. So LeBron James has already been ruled out to start.
Got a prescription? Okay, go to an optometrist or somewhere else. Or you can save up to 70% at ContactLensKing.com.
To speak up for his players. And, so I think, with that aspect, and then coming to a team that was number 2 last year, like Ken said, he's just a fit-in plug. So anywhere he goes, he just fits right in. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be good this year. Man, say you had any pressure on him with this Rocket squad based on how this clear came out in post Warriors era? Pressure, he's going to win, man. I don't know if there's added pressure than has already been there. So you used a word that I was reading your teleprompter. They're not supposed to know that, K. I'm supposed to be off the dome. You got a teleprompter reading off the You ain't gonna go wiring your computer all for 3 seasons. You're looking right in the camera. So you not believe that this is all in the dog. So he has failed to replicate, right? So you say he has failed to replicate his stuff. I mean, there was my thing is why the situation hadn't failed KD. That's it. Right? It's fair. You play that within this. He has been a staple that's been consistent in the net stop, right? Phoenix stop. He's been the staple of that. I think the situations have failed him to help him replicate his success that he's had. Because he's not going nowhere thinking that I'm trying to go win. I'm trying to do what I did over there. Because I know how to win now. I'm trying to go take these winning ways over here. And I'm still me. I'm still showing up. I'm still one of, if not the best 5 players in the NBA. So I think the situations have failed him, and he's always showing up ready to go, ready to do his part. The pieces and everything's circumstances, injuries, COVID, this, that, everything has gotten in the way of that. He hasn't been that. So the pressure has always, it ain't changed for him, because he's always risen to the occasion. No matter what the pressures are, he shows up. He does his job. He shows up every single time. Everybody else can't say that. Secretary Larry, I think karma. I think that the karma from the ultimate decision to leave Russ and them boys Go up there, Golden State. Ever since he won them 2 championships, there has been some type of injury that stopped his momentum. When it comes down to Brooklyn, there was an injury. Comes down to Phoenix, there was injuries. Now, as soon as he get there to Houston, first thing happened, injury. All detrimental pieces too. These are not just a couple of dudes on the roster. He like how he said, man, who I'm throwing it to? Dorian Finney-Smith? Right? So when you look at it, everything from the Golden State back-to-back, the pieces that he needed to duplicate that championship swag, that championship environment has been pieces that have went down. It's like, damn, if we don't lose this piece, we there. If I don't have my foot on the line, we there. If Book and Bill can get on the same page and Bill can stay healthy, we there. So the pressure is extremely high for him here. Extremely high. And there ain't no more excuses. So why you can't get it done? Because this team was number 2. So they've already proven the whole swag to get them there. They already had less pieces and no all-stars. I don't think no all-stars on that team. So you got a Hall of Famer coming in. Trey Grew was an all-star. He was an all-star. Okay. So you got a Hall of Famer coming in with pedigree, championship swag, the whole 9. He got pressure on him.
So basically, you shifted Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and replaced them with Kevin Durant.
Yo, so if they get past the first round this year, is that good?
Is that enough to call it a successful season?
Yeah. Better than what last year. Yeah, right? They didn't get out the first round last year. Not Warriors, but no, I think KD got to win. But he has to win a ring. I think so. After the Warriors. Because every time you bring it up, it's like Steph won one. Every time you try to do that debate where people at, just for that reason, I feel like there's pressure on him to try to win one. Because he hasn't got it done after the Warriors.
So it's not from a lack of effort.
But what if they just have a good season and they get out the second place?
You can't keep leaving teams for teams just to have a good season.
Yeah.
For me, I can't keep getting traded just to have a good season. I gotta have a good season. I feel like everybody knows he gonna beat. He wanted to win the shit.
Yeah, that's his goal. So he's showing up. That's what I'm saying. Like before, has he not? He's showing up. When he did in Golden State, has he not done it everywhere else?
Because he's been averaging 27, 28.
He's averaged 28 on 50%, 45, and 80 from the.
We talk about numbers instead of impact.
Yeah, because
the impact the same numbers. The same numbers. The impact that he had in the Golden State Warriors was insane.
No, the impact on him was insane.
What he did for that team.
God damn, y'all talking about
what he did for that team.
I feel like when he was with Golden State, he did not have